Thank you very much for that prayer. Asante sana. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this session. My name is Henry Chieng from KARA, the Kenya Alliance of Resident Association, and we are happy to host you here today in collaboration with our members, the Kajiado County Alliance of Resident Associations, and of course in partnership with Kenya Power. We are here because of collaboration that we are having with Kenya Power. And essentially, the reason why we are here today is just to give you a platform where we can be able to engage on issues of service delivery, particularly in regard to Kenya Power. I know we all are customers of Kenya Power. We all have engaged with Kenya Power at one point or the other. We all have good stories. We all have bad stories. We all have challenges that we think need to be addressed. And of course, the best way to address challenges is to have a dialogue, is to have a conversation so that we can be able to understand what the issues are and agree on what is the best way forward. Now, Semanga, it doesn't mean that if Kenya Power is the service provider, then they have the monopoly of ideas in terms of solutions. Even us as the wearers of the shoes, we could be having some ideas on what needs to be done to address the issues that we are facing. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a team here from Kenya Power, a very strong team, who are here specifically to engage you today. The issues that you may raise during plenary, or the specific issue that is affecting you as an individual in your house or in your estate, we have a whole team here who will listen to you. They'll give you guidance, they'll give you solutions, and you might also, if the issues that need to be followed up on later on after this, you'll have an opportunity to even get their contacts so that you can then follow up with them from this place. Kenya Power has been a partner of KARA for a number of years, and they are also members of KARA. KARA has different categories of membership. We have our primary members who are the resident associations. A number of you are represented here. But we also have another category called the corporate members, because corporate members are also residents somewhere, and they also need services. They also need to be guided on how to address certain challenges in terms of service delivery. So we have that category now where Kenya Power belongs to, and they've been our members for quite a number of years. So recently we agreed that we have a number of issues coming through about Kenya Power services, and we did sign an agreement that the best way to address these issues is to take Kenya Power to the people. So today we encourage you to listen, first of all, to what Kenya Power has to tell us, because they're going to make a presentation, and then engage. Just engage in form of questions, in form of recommendations, in form of solutions, and even after that, still you can be able to engage with the team that is here from Kenya Power. So we hope that that will happen in an effective way, and we should be able to live here happy that we were able to come to this session. So without spending much time, ladies and gentlemen, I will proceed with the program as that you have, and invite Bwana Pasime Gitau, who is the chairman of Kajiado County Alliance of Resident Associations, that brings together the associations within the Kajiado County.
So KPLC and KARA, let me apologize that our people are still coming. I don't know whether they are, first of all, they made sure their cows are cows in many contexts. They are first of all safe before they come. But I think we have agreed we continue, because one of the motivation to make sure that people don't come late next time is to start on time so that they can find they lost some time. Otherwise, if they come and find you starting, you are actually encouraging them to be late next time. We have an apex body for resident association at the Kajiado County called Kajiado County Alliance of Resident Association, whose membership is the umbrella bodies that are actually within municipalities. Like here in Kitengela, we have KARA, which is Kitengela Alliance of Kitengela Municipality Alliance of Resident Association. When you go to Ngong Municipality, you have Ngong Municipality, which is in Mara. When you go to Kajiado Municipality, it's, you know, ordinarily and originally, Kajiado was not Kajiado. You guys baptized it Kajiado. It's supposed to be all Kajiado. Even if you look at the old history about the county council, it was called all Kajiado County Sijui mulitoa wapi K. But it's supposed to be Orgeju Odo. Yani mto mrefu. That's where the name comes from. So to differentiate Kitengela K Mara from Kajiado, Kajiado is Omara, studying for Orkejuado, and then Kitengela K. But then you realize that residents are not just about the urban areas. And you know there are very strong rural-urban linkages and dependability. You know, you guys, us in town, we don't eat bricks and mortar. We have to rely on the rural area so that they can be able to service us with the agricultural produce so that we can be able to live. I do acknowledge and say that we are partners with the KARA, the Kenya Association of Resident Associations. And of course, they have said Kenya Power is part of them. And to us, Kenya Power is a very, very critical and pivotal service provider. I don't know how many of you have lived from the rural areas. Some of us, when we now got to start enjoying Kenya Power, it was a whole world of difference. I don't know whether you have used the other lights, the small tin lights, before you got into Kenya Power. But I want to say that we are so glad that this KARA and Kenya Power, you found it necessary to come and engage us as the residents of Kajiado, because actually without power, really, things are not going to be very good. When somebody brings you home, of course, wanasemaga ukijipeleka police station ushikwe, utalaumu nani? But in our African context, Kenya Power wamejilete hapa. So basically, it means, engineer, you stand guided. And therefore, when somebody brings, yes, there are lots of questions about it. But I also believe sometimes the question we ask, not just Kenya Power, but even the government, they have no solution. The solutions are within us. And particularly when we blend the ideas that they have and the ideas that we have. And I'm also a believer as well. I don't know how many employees Kenya Power has, roughly. Yes. We are here to report, Kajiado County, we are 1.2 million people. So there is no way Kenya Power can have more brains than the ones in Kajiado. So they depend on us to be able to provide solution. So KPLC, you may be happy to note, out of the 21,000 square kilometers, which is the geographical coverage of Kajiado, only 10% space is occupied. Only 10% space is occupied. So Kenya Power, your future in terms of connectivity is actually in Kajiado County. Your future in terms of connectivity, because if only 10% of our 21,000 square kilometers of land is occupied by human beings, then basically it means the greatest potential you have in this country is, and particularly within the Nairobi metropolitan, and we would really plead that you look into the issues of prioritizing us. Number two, in the entire country, the highest population growth rate is actually in Kajiado, between 5 to 7% per annum in terms of population growth rate. So therefore, even in terms of market niche, you guys have a lot of potential in Kajiado. And you know, the person who is very important to you is your future person, not your current. So Kenya Power, we are your future darling. We are your future partners, even in terms of your market niche expansion, in terms of connectivity, and you realize in terms of proximity, we are not very far from Kenya Power. So basically meaning there is a direct influence of power connectivity to economic activities of the residents. And therefore, we would really pray for an accelerated connectivity so that that can equally, proportionately spur our economic development as a county. And I finish by saying, of course, we have had a lot of, and I'm sure this will be repeated, we have had a lot of power fluctuations. Let me start with number one there. You know, when the county government came, we appreciate there was a lot of installation of the street lights. But you realize even from your own record, more than 50% of those street lights are not working because they have not been paid for and therefore they were disconnected. because obviously they were meant to be paid for in terms of bills. So we pray that Kenya Power can find an opportunity to partner with the resident association so that these grid-connected street lights can be converted to solar and be managed by the resident association so that they see how to actually partner so that we revive these street lights, because you have done some capital investment into them. So if they are dead, they are not being used, the infrastructure which has used money is not being used, then we are better off sitting down, we discuss within various neighborhoods and see whether there is a way we can convert that, and how can you be able to recoup back your investment so that it gets to be used for the purpose for which it was intended, and at the same time it is able to spur the economic development of that particular neighborhood. This aspect of the street light, I really would want us to have a sit down so that we are able to see what formula, because when the infrastructure lays there idle, it's neither benefiting you, it is neither benefiting the resident, and there is no time when the county government will be able to pay for all the street lights in the whole country. It will be a hope in futility for us to sit and expect that. But if we are able to convert into solar, then it becomes affordable, and then the infrastructure gets to be used, because that was the purpose. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope we are going to have a very fruitful engagement and a way forward so that we can engage Kenya Power more officially. But we are most humbled that you chose to come and reason together with us. Thank you.
So we want to proceed straight to listen to Kenya Power. Bwana Harrison Kamau is here. Maybe before you come, Bwana Harrison, we did receive some questions in advance. So maybe I can just go through some of them so that when you speak and when your other colleagues speak, you can also speak in that context and even respond to some of them if they will not come up at the plenary. So just quick highlights. For instance, the question asking, why is there power outages, especially when it rains? Sometimes response take about 24 hours while we are dependent on it for work. So the outages are there, and if they occur, they are not restored in the shortest time possible. So people spend 24 hours without power, and yet they're depending on that power to do their business and to do their work. So that's a question from one of the participants here. Okay, even when the outage is reported, they just restore power without solving the causes. So really, what is the cause of the outage? And maybe that's where we should be able to focus on. Is there hope in regard to reducing the token fees? The point here then is that the token fees are very high. So somebody is asking if this could be reduced. There's a transformer in our estate that has its fuses exposed for a very long time. Whenever it rains or there's heavy winds, we always get a power outage. That's something that need to be fixed. And then can the phone contacts for Kenya Power be updated? Maybe we need to check that. The point is that the phone is not updated, or maybe it's not working. We can be able to respond to that.
But one question, and that goes to Engineer David, who's the one who is in charge of bidding. Why estimation when you come to bidding on our meters? And how accurate are your estimations? Why 2,000 this month, next month 4,000, the other month 8,000, and the other month 150,000? How accurate are your estimations? Thank you. Thank you so much, Chairman, for making this possible.
And I want to raise a question. I don't know whether it is engineer, quickly, because I live there. I've been living there for the last 10 years, and it is only 4 houses that have electricity. I am one of the lucky ones, at least, who have electricity. All my neighbors do not have electricity, and we are surrounded by Koroboi, all that area, Kimalat. We are surrounded by Kimalat, Bitini, Lucky Days, Unubu Children's, and even at East Africa University. And for 10 years, these people have been working to the Kenya Power, and they have never had a connection. I am the only person, at least, and 3 other people who have electricity.
Security lights, if you you want to put security lights on top of Kenya Power, boss, if you can come up with a policy, either to put power or to put other energy saving release on the power lines, whatever it will cost. And the other one is about the cost of power. Why is power so expensive in Kenya?
And then the other question goes to KPLC. You talked about integrated reserve connection, so I'm not sure if that's scoped us, because a few months last year, some people came and said they've been sent to come and pick the details. They took our data, went in. After 1 month, you get electricity connection. It went, then again towards September last year, another person came and I was saying the other ones, they didn't, I don't know what happened now. This was a contractor. A new person came, picked our details, said in 1 month you'll have electricity. And that happened somewhere in September. Today we are speaking of May. Is still connection that we're still talking about for category is about today, or is that a new one? So
I think we have set a very good mood and tone for this conversation. And I want it to be a more customer-centric engagement. We are here to listen to you more. Of course, we make our presentations and we make our remarks, but we want to give, to allocate more time. With the indulgence on a CEO, we allocate more time to the residents so that we can address their concerns in a more comprehensive manner. I have a team in the room from Kenya Power, and I want to request them to come forward. I want to do a formal introduction of them.
My name is Pauline Ruby. I take care of the customer experience department. My number is 0722 982 340.
And where are you?
Sorry, I am based in Kitengela, but I take care of Kajiado County customer experience.
Repeat the number.
0722 982 340.
What is customer experience?
Very good question. What is customer experience?
Yes. Customer care, customer service, but not customer service, the technical part, the social, normal complaints. I handle the complaints of the customers.
Good morning, residents. My name is Ken Okumbe. Ken Okumbe. I am in charge of the network, in charge of operations and maintenance in Kajiado County. We take care of the network, the interruptions that you go through, general concerns that you've talked about, of some overloaded transformers. We do some studies and see how to improve the network. My contact is 0733 399 199. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Evelyn Danya, and I am in charge of, I'm in a department called Commercial Services and Sales, but in layman terms, I deal with meters and all things billing.
I always tell my team and my staff, the only reason why a customer would be calling you is because there's something that either has not been done or something that is affecting them. I don't think a customer will be calling you just to say, how are you, how is your family, is it raining where you are? No. So, ourselves as the leadership of Kenya Power, we also want to walk through that path of communicating with our customers. Our lines are open. I'll also give you my number, even though I'm not based here. Probably where I am based, you could also be having a charge there. Because I believe if we open our communication lines, things will get better. When people talk, more than 50% of challenges are resolved. But when people don't talk, then you have a serious problem there. My name is Harrison Kamau. I'm standing in for our regional manager. I'm acting regional manager for a short period when he's away. And I am based in Nairobi South. So those who come or those who may have interest in Australia, the eastern part of Nairobi, Utawara, Giro, Ruai, that is my area of operation. I'm the county business manager there, and my contact is 0720 32 62 18. One, you are our employer. We begin from that. Because without you, without the customers, we are jobless, basically. Okay? We hold the job we hold to serve you. And as such, we must be available and we must be there for you. Over the years, there has been a lot of dynamics and changes, not only in Kenya Power, but also in the country. I remember the first time I visited Kitengera. That was way back in the year around 1990 something there, 1998 there, fresh from high school. Compared to now, you can hardly know where you are, and that is the reality. The rate at which these areas, they are called the bedroom counties of Nairobi. We have Kajiado, we have Machakos, we have Murang'a, we have Kiambu, the counties that are surrounding Nairobi. The rate at which they are growing and the demand for electricity, it is actually very, 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 very high. The infrastructure which has been there over the years, over times it ceases to serve the purpose for which it was created in the first instance because of STG that we're talking about. And therefore, we realize that we also have work to do on our side. There's also very many things which are changing. Those people who are connected to power those very early days, things were very different. Things were done very differently. Now we have technology that is with us, and again we cannot stop it. We must adopt it. We must move with the trends. And therefore, an engagement like this obviously gives us a very good opportunity to also listen to some of your very good ideas. And I want to echo the words of the CEO who has said, there is nobody in this world who has the monopoly of wisdom. You only know what you know. Only what you know, that is what you know. And therefore, your ideas, your suggestions, because you are the ones, you are the wearer of the shoe, you would be very keen today to listen to them. And again, I also want to urge my team that whatever issues we'll be able to pick from here, it should not just be another day, another morning of engagement, of talking, big words, but with no action. There is an issue about our lines. Basically, the maintenance part of our lines or the blackouts, because blackouts sometimes they are also caused by issues related to maintenance. And what I want to assure you is that we have made very huge strides in terms of maintaining our network. I know we are not yet there. I know we are not yet there because even me, like I said, I'm also a resident of a place and I also get disappointed at the service that I give. It's very ironical. But the truth of the matter is there is a lot which has gone into our network. We continue doing more and we have not stopped. And we shall continue investing in our network. Like I said, network ages, everything ages. Even the chair that you are sitting on, at one time in future, you will not be able to sit on it. the metal will have aged, it will have rusted, it will not be useful. The same case with our network. And hence, we continue doing a lot of network maintenance, refurbishment of our network, adding more transformers where we need, we feel that there is need of more transformers. So all that is happening. But I know the biggest pain point for our customers, it is on how we respond to issues when there are blackouts. That is one area where I believe, even in the area that I am managing, we need to improve. I'm not saying this just for Kajiado. Even where I am, that is one area where we need to improve. Blackouts, you cannot eliminate 100% blackouts. Even last week, those who are very keen, you saw what was happening in Spain. Spain, they lost power for almost 30-something hours. And not just Spain, the whole country. Spain, part of Italy, France, a massive power blackout. But how we respond to these issues makes all the difference. Therefore, as we do this engagement, I believe ourselves, we need to be, as Kenya Power staff, speaking to myself and my fellow colleagues, we need to be very, very, very sensitive to our customers' needs and our customers' concerns. Because we continue doing the maintenance, we'll continue investing in our network, and equally, we must also now up the game in terms of resolving customers' issues. And I think once we're able to do that, and especially having that open line of communication, at times, even the basic information can actually solve a very big problem. Once you tell the customer this is the situation, this is how it is going to be, it's going to take this long to restore your power, hata yeye mwenyewe atajipanga na atajua ya kwamba anashughulikiwa. There is also the issue about the street rights, and I know, again, it's also very pertinent because street rights, they also play a very key role. Not just there's the issue of security, there's the issue of the 24-hour economy that we are talking about. This cannot happen when you don't have street rights. Power theft is the other key challenge that we are having, because we have also a growing number of people who are either bypassing the meter or they are using meters, they are using power without meters. And it is really affecting Kenya Power as a business because the losses are increasing. And remember, these losses as they continue increasing. The denial in revenue to Kenya Power means we do not have now enough money to continue maintaining what? The network. It also means that even legitimate businesses are also suffering as a result of power theft. You can ask how. If you have a bakery, and I have a bakery, and we are producing bread, and my bread I'm producing using stolen power, and you are paying your bill, I don't think you will survive for a very long time because your production price is higher than mine. Me, I'll be able to sell at a low price. Yours, you are selling at probably half the price. So I'll be kicked out of business. You will be kicked out of business where I continue to drive. Myself, I'm not paying to Kenya Power anything. I'm not paying any taxes, but I'm driving. Yourself, you are paying Kenya Power the bills, you are paying taxes, you are kicked out of business. So that is the impact of power theft even at business level. So it's something that we also want to curb. Because if you are also able to curb these losses, I can tell you for free that power cost will significantly come down. When we are negotiating for tariffs with IBRA, one of the elements they look at is the losses, the loss element. It contributes. So if you're able to curb the losses, especially power theft related losses, bills can also significantly come down. The last thing is about the payment of bills, because we also have a problem there. I know all of you here in this room, you are very good payers of your bills. But we also have a number of other customers whose now payment of bills now also becomes a problem. So I want to urge all of us, those who are here, wenye mliacha huko majirani zenu, once you are presented with a bill, kindly pay us on time so that we can also be able to meet our obligations. Otherwise,